one and all, my name is Ryan Brees. My friends call me Fluff.
People still call me Mike,
They will always call you Mike.
and I'm still here.
That's right. On this episode of Blast from the Past, we check out a modern classic, the Ibanez SC series. Okay, so the Ibanez SZ series is kind of a sleeper still even today. This is such a sleeper series because this is a set neck guitar. All of the variants were set neck. These were a mahogany body, 25-inch scale, like a PRS, 25.1-inch scale. And they came in a variety of finishes, which we will talk about. However, these were discontinued in right around 2008. These were only around for about 5 years. But for me, these guitars are just extremely nostalgic. And before we go any further, this video is brought to you by Gear Exchange. Gear Exchange is where you can find all of the used and vintage gear that your heart desires, whether that is electric guitars, acoustic guitars, pedals, pro audio equipment, and more. All of the coolest stuff is over on Gear Exchange, where you will find no fees with gift card payouts, and you will also find very competitive and low shipping rates as well. If you'd like to know more information or visit Gear Exchange for yourself, I will link down below in the description. All thoughts and opinions are ours. This particular SZ is an SZ320. There were the 320, 520, 720, and 2020 Prestige models that had the harmonica bridge, but all of the other models had this amazing Gibraltar 3, kind of a tunematic-ish bridge, which I actually really, really loved. It's one of my favorite bridges of all time. It's so comfortable because of the curved saddles. This typically came with one of two different kinds of pickups. Both were Duncan designed pickups. And yeah, also famously, this was kind of the impetus for the Mike Mushock signature Ibanez that was very, very briefly made before he went to Paul Reed Smith.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so is this your first time
Yeah,
seeing the SC when I brought it in today?
I have seen them, on Craigslist.
Sure.
They're no money.
They're literally no money. So on the used market, you can score these. Now, this one was pretty rough when I got it. I cleaned it up a bunch and it turned out to be a great guitar. Used, these about start at $200-ish, depending on where you look, all the way up to $300, $400, $500 in some cases. And you'll still see the 2020 Prestiges for $1,600, $1,700. Those were obviously the made in Japan models, but you can still have these very, very inexpensively.
When I think about an Ibanez guitar, I do not think about this
Mm-mm.
chunky neck profile
Nope.
and, set neck, string through, there's no edge,
Nope.
Floyd style.
Very unusual
It's
for an Ibanez.
really unusual. I think this is, unpainted style binding.
Natural binding.
Yeah. I was kind of blown away by this guitar.
It's absent from most Ibanez conversations, despite being played by Barry from 3 Days Grace, who's still touring with his. You had Greg from Mudvayne playing these. You also had Marty Friedman playing these.
Really?
Yes.
It's not my favorite body style.
It's actually my favorite Ibanez body style.
Oh, really?
At the time, back in 2003, I had 2 of these, one of which was an identical to this guitar. It was black, it was a 320, had, EMGs in it. It was the best recording guitar still to this day I have ever had. It was so resonant, it literally would sustain for several minutes. It was an unbelievable guitar. I got it from my former brother-in-law, Eisen, and I got rid of it. I got rid of it to a coworker when I worked at Boeing, and I would dearly love to have that guitar back. I wonder if Steve still has it.
Steve, if you're watching,
Yeah,
he was kidding about it being so great. It sucked. You should
it
sell
was a
it back
terrible
to him
guitar.
for $100.
That's right. I wish I could find that guitar again. I would buy it in a heartbeat. But at the time, they were kind of the poor man's PRS, is how we kind of used to refer to them.
I mean, I can see why.
Really, really great guitars. Now, there are some caveats to these guitars. The hardware was pretty poor. Now you'll notice all the corrosion on the
Yeah.
plastics and on the bridge. The chrome plating was pretty poor. And the plastic chroming tarnished basically instantly. I remember replacing them about once a year because I played it pretty regularly.
Oh. I did like that you were pointing out earlier these pickups. You
Yes.
want to talk about that?
So the this guitar came with an old non-quick connect EMG 89 in the bridge, which is for all intents and purposes a splittable EMG 85, and a quick connect EMG 81 in the neck, which I actually love in the neck. I love an 81 in the neck, and I also love an 85 in the bridge. This is literally, it just happens to be the old configuration of my original guitar.
With the addition of the coil splitting, which I don't know that I would ever do. I don't necessarily like
Yeah,
a single. I like a tele pickup, but I don't
yes,
like a split.
yeah. Also, one of the best sounding guitars I have ever recorded with is Jared Dines. Shout out to Jared. His classic SZ520, which so 320 was a painted body, 520 and 720s. You got a quilted maple top and a flame maple top with a fancy little flame inlay at the 12th fret. This is definitely the simpler
There
of
was
all
a
the threes.
flame inlay.
Yeah, it was like this little flame. It looked like the August Burns Red logo, kind of. But Jared's Ibanez SZ with the Zach Wild approved 81 85 pickup set sounds incredible.
I gotta say, I appreciate the small dot inlays. A lot of
Yeah.
people think that dot inlays are a cheap way out or whatever.
Hmm.
Some, depending on the format of a guitar, I prefer it
Right.
over a big block inlay. Big blocks, not always for me.
I agree. It depends on the specific situation. These were kind of a sibling to another Ibanez guitar, the SC, the classic 420, which is basically this body, but in the S thinness. It was a very, very thin,
Oh,
but it was still generally a fixed bridge, and it still had the same style of headstock. Very rare guitar. There used to be one in a music store when I was a kid, and I couldn't afford it, but there was one sitting there for years. So, in conclusion, if you are looking for a bang for your buck guitar that is not going to break the bank, but is also going to sound killer and have killer, simple features, check out the SZ series on literally anywhere. I mean, you can find them all over the place if you start looking. Maybe not after I make this video. However, they are very, very plentiful these days, and they're just a great deal. So Yeah. If you'd like more information about the Ibanez SZ, I will link down below in the description. I've been Fluff.
Still Mike.
We'll see you next time.